Hey everyone, welcome to the Mr. Teacher, Mr. Preacher podcast. And it is a joy to be with you today for a weekly primer for the week of July 3rd, 2023. This is a solo primer, solo weekly primer, as our preacher in residence, Mr. J Train, is moving. So he is moving from one side of the valley, I am told, to the other side, and turns out moving with a family, and especially a family of his size, is a bit difficult while also working. Who works? Geez, Jake. So I'm going to hold down the fort, and we're going to jump right in. Going to go a little bit quicker. We'll still have just as much fun and talking back and forth over our usual elements of the weekly primer to gear you as an athlete or a coach or a parent to feel and perform your best this week. And what are those elements? Well, they're the ones that we always cover, which are gratitude and our specific flavor of that called good, finding the good in a number of different situations, past, present, future, along with emotions. Smacktalk, those are discussion-based prompts that pair with the game Socratic Smackdown. The team that smacks together stays together, as we say. Media that we're covering that align with the new theme. We're starting a new theme in July. Enthusiasm, the second building block of the pyramid of success. So we'll go into that. A flow trigger of the week, something for you to focus on to help you and your team focus. And then just something interesting that caught my eye or our eyes as we go forward. Let's go one by one and start with gratitude, the good. What are the prompts this week? Well, we'll start with reading them, and then I'll pick one that interests me and model it as an example of what I think or see when I hear that prompt. The first gratitude prompt is a small person in the near past who gave you the feeling or made you feel rejected. How might that be a good thing? The second prompt is a cosmic person. So this person played a massive role. You may not even know them. Cosmic person in the near past, think weeks, months, years, short years, not quite decade. From the objective point of view, so you get just the facts from their point of view. Okay, so a cosmic person, big person in the near past, objective, just the facts, no thoughts, emotions, or feelings, that was disgusted. So who's a big person in the past, near past, that was disgusted about something, and that ended up being a good thing? We can oftentimes think of innovation or people who are spurred to do something because they're unsatisfied with the status quo. That'd be a good way to think of that one. The third one is a large person in the near future that irritates you. So this is, again, first person point of view. We're not doing any different point of view for that one, but you can kind of see it in the near future that this person might do or say or something that is irritating. How might that be good? Tiny thing, number 4, tiny thing in the near past that's a little bit lazy. So it's a thing that's lazy in the near past, that was lazy, in the near past from a limited point of view. So you take on another character or another person, and you're limited to just that single character. It's third person limited, the single person's thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, where it appeared lazy, but that was a good thing, or a good thing. So a tiny thing, let's just go thing, won't even go to a person. A thing that was lazy. How might that be good? The fifth prompt is a medium experience. So something you do in the far past that made you feel defeated. Maybe you did lose. You were defeated in that experience, and it ended up being a good thing. I'm going to actually run with that one, the last one. All of these are challenging, and it goes with our flow trigger this week too. It's just the amount of novelty here is catching. But a medium experience in the far past, so you think in years, decades, and beyond, that brought you defeat, and it ended up being good. Well, as any athlete might experience, specifically and especially as a young athlete, you might get your butt kicked a few times. In my early high school career, in every sport, we got whooped by some teams that were just frankly better. They were older. When you're a freshman or a sophomore and you're playing juniors and seniors, you take your licks and you remember those licks. So that would probably be the point of the good, is that I remember being defeated over and over again by just competition that was far out beyond our challenge skills ratio. And I remember it in football. I remember it in basketball. Playing teams are huge, just so much taller than us, and especially baseball. We have a Legion season in Minnesota. So we play a high school season in the spring, and then you play Legion ball in the summer. And at that time, college freshmen were eligible to come back and play one more year. And we were a small school, and we played up and down this highway, and that allowed us to play bigger schools. And you get these college guys and you're 15, 16 years old. You have zero expectations on you're just happy to be in the game, and even happier if you win. I remember being defeated and going to the ballpark and thinking we have no shot. Well, it turns out that when you do that regularly, you get a lot better. And that jump from our sophomore to junior years was massive. We didn't have a lot of upperclassmen play summer ball. And then we were good enough to be starters on that team. And the development through the amount of playing and defeat was a great thing. It was good, unbelievably good. So I would say that was medium. It wasn't earth-shatteringly devastating by any means. In the far past, so you can learn from your defeat and get better. And I appreciate those times and relish those times. The low expectations was just a delight to have. It's like American Legion week from Joe Madden, MLB manager Joe Madden. You just show up, you take a little BP, and you play. It's like greatest, other than backyard baseball with a ball. You show up and play. It's that simple. That's the good of the week. Take yours. You can certainly push these out on a team app or do them yourself with a journal. When I do these, I tend to whine and complain. The first little bit, I like to write by hand. So I would journal these by hand. And at some point, you have to stop and say the word good. Okay, that thing happened, or I got rejected. I'm just disgusted, irritated. This is lazy. Okay, well, that's okay. Get it out. Better out than in, as Shrek would say. Get it out. Then stop and say, well, how might this be good? What did I learn from this? What happened going through that? Some of these are obviously adverse or adversity-ridden emotions. Some of them are positive. We get on the tool. We get a lot of positive emotions as well. That said, find the good in it. And sometimes the answer might be, I don't know that there is any good right now, but I know that there will be good one day. And holding on to that hope and that optimism that maybe I can't see it right now, but I believe that something good will come of this. And training your mind to take those hits is a gift. Second section is Smacktalk, your weekly dose of smack. So these are prompts, again, that are discussion or debate-based prompts that you can throw out for athletes to discuss on the bus, during warm-ups, practice, chat, apps of whatever sort. And it's just getting that communication, that shared, clear communication back and forth. These are supposed to be playful banter, and they're just fun. It's fun to get to know your athletes, and this is a vehicle to do that, where you can figure out their quirks. You can learn all about somebody in just a short prompt. Or as I said, you can learn more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. So we're going to take that conversation and bring it down to an hour. So until that course comes, here are your prompts for your weekly dose of smack. Number 1, free agent. So imagine you are a free agent of the sport of your choice. What are your top decision-making criteria to sign a contract somewhere? This is fun. I wish maybe we're gonna have to do a double dose when we get Jake back, because I would love to hear his thoughts on this. And sometimes you don't always hear the conversations of the actual offers free agents are given or not given in this case. I'd love to know Jake's answer to this. What would you say are your biggest priorities? Some, it's money, right? Maybe you don't come from much. This is your big contract. You have the expectation of the players union, upholding you getting a fair deal for your value. Maybe it's a location. Some players want to go certain places. It could be something simple as fit. You want to go to a type of team that's on the up and up. Maybe you want to go to a team that's already established, or a place you can play. There's all sorts of decision-making criteria. You can imagine as an athlete as you are now, or if you would be a free agent at the professional level. That's number 1. Number 2, it is free agency period. That's something I'm going to cover in the interesting and interested section. But it is the NBA free agency as of this time, and also the MLB trade deadline's coming soon. We also had the NBA draft very recently. So let's play a little GM. You could be your own GM. Favorite team, your favorite team. If you could trade for one player, who would it be? Let's throw out the salary cap. If you want to go that in depth, by all means, matching salaries if you're NBA and whatnot. It doesn't matter the sport, but if your team could trade for one player that would complete that team or make it significantly better to championship level, who would it be and why? Similarly, this is addition by subtraction. Doesn't have to be the same trade. Number 3 is favorite team, your favorite team. Again, if you could trade away one player, somebody maybe you're annoyed with, and you're saying, if we could just get rid of that contract or that guy, our team would be exceptionally better. So if you had to trade away somebody, who would it be? So if you trade for or trade away. Good banter right there. Number 4, I got an email about promotion for Christmas in July. I like that concept. This whole Christmas in July. I got a July birthday in my family. And so what is one present you'd love right now? So imagine it's Christmas in July. What do you really want? Take our imaginary Mr. Teacher, Mr. Preacher credit card. Not that one exists. And say you can go for it. All right. What do you get? Be specific too. Don't give me I'll take $1 million. Get something really highly specific and neat. Maybe even shelving it for a while. Maybe price has been a thing. Don't just say I want to go on a trip. Where would you go? What would you specifically want? I love the details. The details are what matters in this. Number 5, similar to our movie and media, which we'll cover next. What is the best movie show you've seen recently? Summers and spring into summer, we get a lot of the best movies that come out. What is the best movie or show you've seen recently? All right. So that's your weekly dose of smack. I'm going to take number 2. I thought about this one. So favorite team, you trade for one player. All right. I'm from Minnesota. I'm going to stick with my Minnesota teams to my demise across sports fandom lifetime. I'm going to go with the Wolves first. So the Wolves. I've heard there's been rumblings that Damian Lillard is on the trading block and he really wants to go to the Heat. Don't blame him at all. That'd be an interesting concept. I applaud him. He reminds me a lot of Kevin Garnett, who was a franchise icon with the Timberwolves, got traded to the Celtics, of all places, and won a championship. I hope the same for Dame. I hope that he comes to the Wolves. And if we traded away one player, it would be Towns. So maybe just because we could get, maybe that would be 2 and 3 together. So we're going to trade for Damian Lillard. We're going to trade away Karl Anthony Towns. Mostly just to see that would maybe work. Maybe they would take Towns. And I like the mindset of Lillard. I like Lillard overall as a player. I think he'd fit amazingly well in the roster that is being built. I know they're building around Edwards, Anthony Edwards. We have McDaniels. We got Gobert. We decided Naz Reid. I think he would be a great fit. I know we have Conley. We traded for him when we got rid of Russell, D'Angelo Russell. I think that would be very interesting. I don't know if the Trailblazers would take it. They might be patient and get the best deal they can. 2 blockbuster deals by the Wolves, for better or worse, back-to-back years would be something to behold. We don't get a lot of that kind of controversial movement in Minnesota. Usually it's our ineptitude that gets the press. So the fact that we could possibly get a player like that, which there has been a rumor that has been the case. The Wolves are in the action along with other teams, as they should be. So that would be what I would do for that. If I was the Twins, the Twins. The Twins right now, as of this recording, are struggling to hit, and that is an understatement. I'm not worried about that. I know we got a lot of grief for the Lopez for Arise trade, Pablo Lopez for Luis Arise. I was for it then. I'm still for it now. I could care less if the Twins are 500 and win the division, so long as we have pitching. We had a Bamba squad hit all these home runs a few years ago, and we didn't get very far in the playoffs. So as much as in the moment, our hitting is abysmal, and I think hitting comes around. Players can be streaky. Baseball's a momentum game. You get the warm weather. You get into July, August, September. The reps seem to kick in. Players seem to go back to their baselines. Sometimes you have off years, and that's okay. But taking the long view, I'm good as long as we have pitching. So speaking of pitching, if we could trade for one player, I would love an ace. I have no idea how we'd even accomplish that or who we'd have to give up. Another top of the shelf pitcher. I've ranted about this before in group chats and to friends. I want the pitcher that is going to go into Yankee Stadium, Game 6, Game 7, and have all that adversity and pressure and go win that ball game. I want that guy. I don't care if it's whatever, $40 million a year, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, whoever. I do not care. Give me that guy. And you can debate me all day long about whether those trades work out in the past. Some have, some haven't. I'm okay with that. Just give me more pitching. Give me the pitching. Throw it at the top. Get us over the hump. That is the New York Yankees / first round of the MLB playoffs. So that's what I would be doing if I was GM for the day. Favorite team, trading away one player. Your movie media of the week, your weekly viewing of our new building block of enthusiasm is Bananaland. So this is on ESPN Plus, and it aligns exactly with our deep read of this week of Find Your Yellow Tux by Jesse Cole, Mr. Bananaland himself. And I'll admit I was a little slow to the Savannah Bananas train. I tend to be ahead of the game on some things and severely behind on others. And I am excited to check this out. It's similar to Ted Lasso. You can hold that against me if you want. I'm also behind on Ted Lasso, but Ted Lasso's coming in a couple weeks. So I'm going to binge watch Bananaland this week, see what we can learn about enthusiasm. Enthusiasm might be an understatement. Enthusiasm to the max. If you've seen this, do let us know. Tell us what you think and learn about enthusiasm from Bananaland. But it's the story of and the inner workings of the Savannah Bananas. This team in Savannah, Georgia, that does all these crazy promos and stunts and makes the game fun. It's a college league, it is not pro, and they've done nothing but impeccable work. The values and the environment is so contagious. I'm a huge fan of Jesse Cole and the whole Savannah Bananas organization, having read his books and now going to get to see this. Probably going to only further solidify my fandom. You might even see me be wearing a Savannah Bananas hat at this point in the future episodes. So that is your movie media of the week. If you'd like to check it out, we will get that link to that. ESPN Plus, I believe, is what it's on. I think if you don't have that, which is okay, there's probably a free trial that goes with it. But check it out. It's something cool to see, movie and media to digest. Number 4 is your flow trigger of the week. So every week we highlight a flow trigger. Sometimes they go with our theme, sometimes they don't. There's upwards of 22, 23 flow triggers. Flow triggers are preconditions or the ingredients, as I like to think of them, that lead to more flow. And they either remove complexity, so make things simpler, or they drive attention into the now. They force us to pay attention. And one of the easiest ones, one that I like to start with and use quite often, is one of my favorites, is the external or environmental flow trigger of novelty. Novelty flow trigger. And novelty is as simple as it is it's the new, different. What can you do in your practice, game, something this week that is new, a little different? So it could be something in your environment. Right? Maybe you're going to add new music, a new tool, mix things up. So when I taught this to a group of coaches, we were doing hitting off a tee. Everybody hits off a tee in baseball and softball. You put the ball on the tee and you swing. Well, you can mix things up. You can switch the ball out, hitting a smaller ball or a bigger ball or a soft one. And so not a hard baseball, but one that's maybe a squish ball or a wiffle ball or a heavy ball or whatever. Basketball is fun. You can mix up the bat on people. You can do one of those speed sticks. You can do a heavier bat, a lighter bat, wiffle ball bat. There's all sorts of different ways that you can mess with the environment and the tools. You can also do something that's habit busting. So typically, some drills, every time we're going to do A, B, and C, right? You hit 5 in, 5 middle, 5 out, for instance, off a tee. 5 inside pitches, 5 middle pitches, 5 outside pitches. Well, mix it up. Maybe you're going to go Masogi style and do 100 or 1,000. I don't know. Or maybe you're only going to do one for each area. I don't know. Break that habit. Make something different. Maybe you're going to put something on there like a balloon. Smack the balloon and, water balloon, and water's going to come out. How fun would that be? Or you could just make it more challenging. So something new. This is a new drill. You can literally say that. I would fall for this every time. Kind of like reverse psychology. Guys, we're going to do a new drill today. Even that's going to immediately catch attention and like, huh? Especially if it's a little bit out there. Maybe not Savannah Bananas out there, but out there. And the key word for this, as we're going to read in our second book, The Power of Fun by Catherine Price, it's just make it fun. Novelty, a lot of it is just fun. What might this look like if it were fun or a game or new? What's a new way to do this? That answer to that question, those questions, or especially that question, is going to be something cool. Do that. So novelty flow trigger is a dopamine flow trigger. So it's going to give you some dopamine, some excitement. And those are good things because they help us pay attention and help us focus. And when we focus, we get into flow. And when we get into flow, good things happen. Last segment, number 5, is something interesting. What caught our eyes, or in this case, my eye, my eyes, and is just the NBA free agency and MLB trade deadline. I loved being the GM in sports video games, and I think it's interesting to see where players go, what they're offered, and then all the analysis that comes with that. Who signed who, what grade, quote unquote, grade would you give said team? That'd be a good Smacktalk prompt is, what grade would you give your team, your NBA team in free agency? And similar to that is MLB trade deadline. So it's a cool exercise as an athlete or a coach or a parent to take stock of where is your team at in reality at this moment in time as you get up to the All-Star break, which is a little bit more than halfway. Are you in first place, second place, third place, last place? Where are you? And are you a buyer or are you a seller? What do you need to do? What adjustments need to be made? Where are you at in the cycle? You know, some teams at the professional level, yet they're still growing. So are you going to invest and trade away a lot of people when you're behind in the standings and you're not quite at that peak level? You're trying to still develop your players, or are you at that time where you've spent a lot of money? Your team is right there. Do you need to do something to get them over the hump, whether that's emotionally or tangibly on the field? Knowing where your team is at. So like I said, when we did the gratitude of being defeated, when I was a young Legion ball player, that was probably not the time to go all in, right? We're, you know, a 500 or under 500 team playing much better teams. Well, if we're going to the playoffs, we're not going to double down and, you know, go try and nab a player from somewhere else, which you can't do. Some teams do, it seems like. That's interesting though. So kind of taking stock, where's your team at? Where are you at in the cycle of development? And where do you need to go from there? Same thing with NBA free agency, like we covered. It's cool to see what might it be like to be a professional, and where would you go with the options you have? How do you make decisions? I think that's something that appeals as an athlete, as a coach, as a parent. How do you make these decisions? So if you are a free agent and you are given these options, option A, B, and C, what would you do? It's good banter as well. Like I said, just in that prompt is, it's interesting what people's values are, you know, for a short amount of time. Yeah, I'll take that 3-year contract for all of the money I could possibly get, because it allows me to do this down the road, and I may not get that chance again. Or I want to go win and I want to play this role. So that's what's interesting. It's fun to watch. I don't really have a strong opinion on NBA free agency, as even though I paid attention where people have gone, what happened with the draft. More or less just the noticing and the following. I enjoy that immensely. I tend to perk up at these times of year in every of the major sports I played. So football, basketball, and baseball. I love trade deadlines, free agency. It's cool to see. So with that said, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. We put out these every week, stuff that you can take away and apply immediately. Just listen along for entertainment value. And hopefully we'll have Jake on the next weekly primer. We are on our month of enthusiasm. We're going to be wrapping up the month of industriousness with a deep read on Greg McKeown's effortless, making those hard things easier to do. And then we'll be moving forward with a whole new stack of deep reads on enthusiasm and mini lessons as we go forward. So be sure to check those out. Again, thank you for listening. Appreciate you. Never stop learning, everybody. As John Wooden said, when you're through learning, you are through. Be well.